All right, everybody. Um, Welcome to the webinar today. I'm recording this now. So we're going to do some really exciting stuff. We're going to create a product. We're going to set up the listings for it in Warrior Plus. We're going to put up a WSO, and we're going to launch it live right here in the call. So very cool stuff. It's nice to go through that experience and watch what happens during a launch, especially if you haven't done one before. It's kind of eye-opening. You get to witness how it all goes about, what the feeling is like. And also, if you have done it before, I'm going to be dropping all kinds of gold nuggets in here that will probably help you. So if you have launched product before, stay tuned because you might learn something. I'm pretty sure you'll learn something. Now, the product that we're going to create today is a case study of creating and launching a product. Okay, so let's put two and two together here. This is the product you are in right now, the product that we're going to be launching to the public. In other words, the recording of this webinar, the replay, we're going to sell in a WSO as a live case study on how to create and launch products. So let that be understood that it's extremely easy to do this stuff, right? It's extremely easy to put up a webinar. You just get a webinar platform, you get people invited to the webinar, and boom, you're just going at it live. Matter of fact, this webinar here sold tickets, $47 a person. Aside from my coaching students, this was originally intended just for my coaching students, but I thought it'd be really massive value for my subscribers and so forth. So I decided to share this with the public at a price, of course. But it's very interesting to see this whole process going live. And in this call, we're going to basically do everything. Now, let's say, for example, you don't want to do a webinar. Let's say you want to do a product. You want to create a product, but you don't want to do a webinar, okay? Well, it's the same thing as doing a video. We're just doing a live video. So you can just as easily do a 1-hour video or a 45-minute video, open up Camtasia, and you're good to go. So the part of the creation of the product itself is quite simple. 45-minute video, 17-page PDF, on whatever topic that you can teach to others. If you've learned something, if you can, and you have applied it, and you can go and teach it to others. It doesn't matter what niche it's in. You can absolutely do that. So the creation of a product is actually the smallest hurdle in this whole launch process. And again, us creating the product today, we're creating it as we go along in this webinar. So really cool stuff. Interesting to see how this experiment is going to go, launching it live. So I've got some people chatting here. Bob says he keeps getting kicked out. Might have to watch the replay. Will Charles says, should I be hearing audio? Yes, you should. Will is capital. Can everybody give me a yes if you can hear me and if you can see my screen? Okay, Will says he can hear me. Okay, I just want to make sure that everybody can hear and see. Okay. Steven says no. No what? Can you not hear me, Steven? Okay, I'm gonna have to just continue on here. Steve said he'll bow out. Okay, cool. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to give Steven just a couple seconds to dial in here, and I'll just keep blabbing for a second. So here's the basic outline of what we're gonna do, and I can even pop this up in MindMeister. And this is one of my favorite tools for creating video products, okay? I'm going to sign into my MindMeister account. I think that's how you pronounce that, Meister, whatever. And all it is a mind mapping tool. It's a online mind map tool. Very cool stuff. I love mind maps. They're great for creating products with and using in videos and so forth. So basically the process we're going to do, creating the product, in this case it's video because it is a webinar, okay? But you could just as easily do an ebook or just a standard training video, okay? And then we're going to go and write the WSO letter. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. We're going to create the listings and everything, and we're going to launch it out to the public. And there's several things that can be involved in the launch process, and we're going to go through all of that. So, Stephen, did you ever get back in here? Are you with us now? Well, if you dialed in, you probably can't chat. So, okay, you are. Good, cool. So let's go ahead and get started with this now. Let me go ahead and say this. Some of you are my coaching students, so you got free admission, obviously, and some of you paid to get on this webinar. Now, the massive value for you paying to be on this webinar, like I said before, we're going to record this and sell it as a WSO for cheaper than the guys that paid to get on here. But you are part of an experience right now, and you get to ask as many questions as you want. So I want you to, this is kind of like a coaching session for you, a mini coaching session. So when you have questions, I want you to ask them because I'll be happy to answer everything, and that is a big advantage over the guys that are just going to get the replay. See, they're just going to get the replay. Also have some special bonuses for you guys on a separate download page for you that paid to get on this webinar. You're going to have some extra stuff, and I'll mention them as I go along. But after this recording is over and everything is done, I'm going to send you an email with your download page so you can get the replay and the extra tools and stuff that I'm going to give you here. So, all right, the first thing I like to do, a lot of people create the product first and then write their sales letter. What I like to do is write like my sales letter first. I actually like to put it up here. I like to write it first. And there's a couple reasons why I like to do that. Number one, I can outline what kind of results I want my customers to have. In other words, I can make the promises there in my sales letter, and then as I'm creating the product, I can make sure that I'm delivering on those promises. And it's just easier to do it that way because when you're writing your sales letter, you're thinking about what are the needs, what are the needs and wants and must-haves for my customers, who am I making this for, and so forth. And you can follow exactly what you promise in that sales letter. Sometimes when you do it the other way around, when you create the product first, you have to tailor that sales letter to the product. Well, in this way, you're tailoring the product to the sales letter, and that makes hopefully that makes more sense to you, and it definitely works better for me. And so that's what we're going to go do right now. I'm going to go to the Warrior Forum, and we're going to create a WSO, okay? And you don't have to make a WSO. Let me make that clear. You can create a product and launch it on a self-hosted page. That's fine. WSOs, if you're going into the internet marketing niche, then I love WSOs because they're quick, they're easy. You tend to get a good amount of affiliates through Warrior Plus. And I really like them. It's a good way to get exposure. That's how I got started in this business, was doing WSO after WSO after WSO. Of course, I still do bigger launches, self-hosted, and that's fine. But WSOs are a great place to place to start, especially if you don't have a lot of experience. So when I go to the Warrior form, when you want to create a WSO, it's going to go under the Warrior Special Offers section. And normally you would go ahead and create your thread there. But when I create my WSO sales letter, the first thing I do is I go to the test forum. And this is a private forum that you can post your own threads and test out different things without having to worry about anybody else looking at them, okay? And so you would go in here and you would create a new thread. And that's what I do for my sales letters. I create my new thread right here in the test post. And so that way I can play around with my sales letter before I try to post it as a WSO. I want to make sure it's perfect before I do that. And once I'm done with the test thread, then I will copy everything over to the WSO. And I'll show you that in a moment. Now, in lieu of time, I went ahead and created the sales letter first. That's one thing I did ahead of time just to save time. But I'm going to walk you through this whole thing on why and how I did the sales letter the way that I did. So again, I would have just went in there to the test form, clicked New Thread, and put in my sales letter, okay, and saved it. And so now I can edit it any way that I want to. And the cool thing is about a WSO, it's so easy to write a sales letter. You don't have to have any kind of web design experience. You literally just come in here, and I will show you. Go into the edit. I always like to go into the advanced mode. You come in here and write out your stuff. Now, you see all this code. It's called BB code. In Google Chrome, the Chrome browser, you get this code stuff, right? It doesn't have the WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get editor. But if you use something like Internet Explorer or Firefox, this will actually look like it's supposed to. Let me just go ahead and pop that. Let me pop open Internet Explorer so you can see what I'm talking about. And I'm not going to continue to use Internet Explorer through this. I just want to show you quickly what that kind of looks like. I'm going to grab this here. But I have all my stuff saved in Chrome, so we're going to continue to use that. Let's see. Minimize that down. And I just want to show you how easy it is to go in here and edit and create these threads for your sales letter. It's so stupid easy, and that's why one of the reasons I recommend it to newbies. And I'm just going to paste that in there. Boom. We should get a nice editor look here as soon as it's done here. Oh, I probably don't want to edit post. Yeah, no. Let's go back here. Warrior forum, scroll down here again to the test forum. And it was this one right here. And see, you can even see, when I go back, all of my previous sales letters for all my previous products are here. This is where I first created them. And then when I was done, I would copy the BB code over into a WSO thread. But see now, when I'm in Internet Explorer, I can go and click Edit, right, go Advanced. And now it actually looks, this will expand it to make it longer. See, now it looks how you want it to write it. But Chrome, obviously, if you're using Google Chrome, it gives you this BB code. There's no option to switch it to the preview. Good thing, yeah, I use Chrome and I know BB code, and it does it for you anyway. Like if you click bold, it'll bold, right? Like it should. If you're in Chrome, if I hit bold, it would be, it would put those tags in there for me, bold. See, B. So I'm going to undo that. So anyway, let me go through here and show you my sales letter process. Is everybody on board? Everybody following me so far? Do we understand what's going on here? Am I boring you to death? Give me some feedback here while we're looking at this. Good, cool, awesome. And remember, if you have any questions, just let me know. So the reason I did this sales letter first is because you have to have your WSO sales letter approved, okay? And I didn't want us to sit here and click on it and then have to wait till the end of today or tomorrow for our sales letter to get approved. So I already have it approved, but I'm still going to show you this whole process. But I didn't want us to have to wait, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. I'm still going to go through this, though. It took me about 10 minutes to write this sales letter. Not a whole lot to it. And one of the reasons that it was so fast is because I tend to use the same style template on all of my sales letters. These past few, as you can see, this one, I'm just going to open up a couple here. If you'll notice something here, you're going to see that they're strikingly similar. So here's Secret Traffic Tsunami, and a lot of the sales letter is actually very similar. Solo Ad Arbitrage, still again very similar. Now these are the test. Wait, these are the test threads. Solo Ad Arbitrage. I want to show you. Here we go. That's still not it. I want to show you something that I will be doing over here. Okay. Notice this got WSO of the day, and all these freaking testimonials. Those are good. So when you create a WSO, when you start getting testimonials, put them at the top. Those need to be above everything else. Now, I've seen people do it many different ways. They'll sprinkle them about. I've got some down here at the end, too. Look at all those. But I always like to put my powerful testimonials at the top as they're coming in. So that's the first thing people see as they're going through. Will says, is there a template guide you follow in creating your sales letters for all your products? Well, like I was saying before, I basically use I created this a while back, and I basically use the same format and most of the same sales copy structure and everything. And I'm going to sit down and explain it to you here in just a moment. But the same sales letter we're doing today, Secret Traffic Tsunami, okay, very similar to this one, right? Solo Ad Arbitrage, again, very similar. So I use that same format almost every time. And just to show you if it works, I'm going to show you if it works. I'm going to show you. We're going to go into Warrior Plus, and we're going to look at offers. And if you'll see, Secret Traffic Tsunami is 260 sales. We've got Solo Ad Arbitrage, 1,360 sales. Solo Book of Rolodex, 448 sales. You know, the list goes on. So it does work. And that's why I stick to this format. Now, he asked about a template. I've kind of created my own little template here, and you are more than welcome to go to any one of my sales pages. Now, don't copy my stuff word for word, okay? I ask that you don't do that, but you can use it as a guideline if you want to. And for those of you who paid to be on this webinar, I'm going to include a sales letter, and my coaching students already have this, but I'm going to include a sales letter template that, oh man, I can't remember the name of the guy that wrote it, but it's an actual step-by-step here. Put this here, put this there, put that there. You need to say this here, that kind of thing. But we're going to go through right now, and I'm going to show you why I did what I did in the wording that I used. So The first thing I want you to notice is the keywords in the subject line, in the thread title. So make $45 to $150 a day starting today. No list, no website, free and easy, raving reviews. Okay. Kind of similar on the Secret Traffic Tsunami. Get traffic and sales today. No list, no experience, free and easy to do. This one's a little bit different, but still, create and launch a WSO in less than 3 hours. No experience, super easy. Get started now. Okay, there's a criteria on the Warrior form. When you're doing a WSO, people are looking for something specific, okay? And then with WSOs, I find the best things that sell, obviously you're going more after a newbie audience, is you want it to be something very easy to do, something that they can do fast, and the least amount of cost possible, if not free. Those are the best kinds of and no experience. They can do it with no experience, meaning they can follow your steps and they don't have to have any experience to do it. Those are the best kinds of WSOs. Those sell really awesome, okay? So, and I mentioned that in my title. I say, hey, it's super easy. You get started right now. It's really fast. No experience, free to do. No list, no website. Putting numbers in there is a really good thing too. If you can prove that, hey, you can make $45 to $150 a day starting today, and then I have reviews in here from people who actually did that, that's really powerful as well. If you get WSO today, put that in the title, okay? Those are all little ninja tricks that I use when I'm creating my sales letter and as the launch is going on. Then I just come out, a lot of people use big catchy headlines that say, the typical sales letter headlines. On my WSOs, I just put my titles right there. I just put them right there, okay? Right at the top, I put the name of the product. And you'll also notice buy button, at least on these last two, I typically put the buy button like right up top. And I need to go back and edit this solo at arbitrage to do that and just stick a buy button right here. Buy buttons at the top typically convert very well, and they get more clicks than the other buttons usually. So I do that. You can also do a nice catchy headline. That's fine. Okay, so let's go ahead and go through this. What if I told you that you could start bringing in massive windfalls of cash every single day starting today without any list or IM experience? Now, what I'm doing is basically grabbing their attention saying, hey, you can do this right now with no experience. And it starts similar on, in fact, it's the exact same copy almost right here, and on my other one. Same thing, okay? And it's all true. Each one is true. And I always make sure that my products come to show that, come to prove that, okay? Probably laugh in my face, dismiss it right away. Haha, we've all seen the shiny objects, hocus pocus WSOs out there that promise the world and simply don't deliver. So yeah, I know there's stuff in there. You've probably bought a bunch of them, and sometimes you might throw in a I have too. I know exactly how you feel. You're kind of relating with them a little bit. Rest assured, Create and Launch Live works, okay? And then you go in and tell them a little bit about the product. This is just telling them that we're on a private webinar and recorded, and they get to watch the whole thing. Same thing here. I kind of lay out exactly how the product is working, and the same thing here. And then we go on down. I usually, after I do a description of the product, I just put a little buy button there. Here's more of a description on this one. This sales page is a little bit more tricky because of the way that we're doing this case study and everything. So it's a little bit different from my norm, but you don't have to stay to a strict standard. I'm just showing you what I do and what has worked for me. It may not be the copywriting, ultimate copywriting course here or anything like that. I'm by no means an expert copywriter, but I know what has worked for me in the past, and so that's what I do. Okay, Create, Launch Live. You want to list out in bullet point format. What they don't need, like for this one, you don't need an email list already. You don't need a big bankroll. $20, you can even do it for free if you use free web hosting, stuff like that. We're not going to go into that because free is a little bit overrated. Any experience with internet marketing whatsoever. And you can see in these other two, okay, and even here I put the expenses out because everything is free. I show them like you can do all this for free, right? Total expenses zero. But also what you don't need, again, here. And if it's something that could be related to something else, you can also put, this is not. So this secret traffic tsunami is obviously revealing a traffic source. And I just wanted to dismay a bunch of those, what people are going to say, oh, is this Facebook ads? Oh, is this, pay-per-click or whatever? Yeah, I just knocked that right out. Most of the reason that you have a sales letter, and we'll get to this in a second when we show you the FAQs, a big reason to even have a sales letter is basically you're taking all of their concerns and all of their walls, and you're answering those questions. You're breaking down, saying, oh, no, you're wrong on that. Here's why. Oh, no, you're wrong on that. Here's why. Basically, you're removing all doubt from their head in their sales letter, in your sales letter. Again, in solo ad arbitrage, we go in here. You can also put out, what you will learn, list out exactly what they're going to get, what they're going to learn. Okay? And then I usually stick another buy button there. Hold on, I got some stuff popping up here. Christian Peter says, is there any way to listen online? Yes, Peter. Or, I'm sorry, Christian. If you go over here to audio options, there's dial-in, there's headset mic, and there's listen only. You can choose from those different options there to listen in on. Kristen can't hear anything. I'm going to say select dial in and call from your phone. Try that. Or you could use Skype. There will be a recording, so yeah, that's the other thing. Check to see if our audio is up. I'm going to let them deal with that, and I'm going to continue on. Okay, so FAQs. I always put FAQs, and I say, basically answer any questions that I think that they might have. Okay, again, we're taking those doubts away. Why is the price so low? Obviously, they're going to think, whoa, $7, if it's so great, why is the price so low? So I go into saying, yeah, it's pretty crazy. I way undervalued the cost here, but for me, this is about helping the hundreds of desperate people who come to me for advice. I get emails every day from people truly struggling, and I really do. Okay, I'm not being dishonest here. I actually do. And what I'm doing here in this section is kind of relating to them, and I'm trying to help them see that I really do want to help. It's not just about selling them something. I want you to be able to get started with a little barrier as possible. You may not believe that is my goal, but if you were on my subscriber list, you would already know this is true. The need for these people, and probably you, that's a big one, to bring in money to feed your family is very real. I get that. I've been there myself. Again, that's building that relation. You're having that sympathy. You're saying, look, man, I know exactly where you're at. And again, the stories are different, but it's always the same. They need money. They need it now. They have no money or experience to get started. That's pretty much an impossible task. And I say, but you can do exactly that with this product, okay? Make real money on a regular basis with practically nothing to start out with, right? So that takes their whole worry kind of out the window. Just saying, look, you can do this. If you have no money, you have no experience, don't worry, you can do this. And it's just reiterating that whole thing, and it helps that sale, okay? Now, on this one, I'm not doing any OTOs. On the one that we're doing today, I'm not doing any OTOs. And believe it or not, they sell really well with or without OTOs, but I know a guy named James Runoff, who's the most popular seller on Warrior Plus. He is the #1 most followed seller on there. It's in their stats. He hardly ever does OTOs. He just does these front-end things, and I'm telling you what, this dude sells thousands of copies every time he does it. So on this one, I'm not going to do an OTO. No strings attached here, just get it and go. But let's see, in Solo Ad Arbitrage, I did do an OTO, and I spelled it out. There is an OTO, which is $9. It's not needed to do this stuff, and that's important. If you're doing an OTO, you don't want to make it dependent, the front end dependent on that OTO. It's just something that's going to boost it, okay? And I tell them exactly what they're going to get, okay? So just trying to speed it up here, and I got a couple questions here. Patrick says, please show how to make OTO pages and integrate them with payment redirect. Christy said, I'm not in the U.S. and can't dial in. Let's see. You can't hear me at all. Sorry to pause here. Okay, good. Then they're on board with us. Okay, cool. Awesome, Peter. Peter. I keep saying Peter. Christian. So, also, I go and say, what do I need to get started? I list out all the tools and everything you will need. Basically, you're telling them, look, don't worry about what you need. I got you covered, okay? It's all free, and if there are expenses, go ahead and tell them what those expenses are right here. Don't be afraid to tell them that, hey, you're going to have to spend money on this. You're going to have to spend money on this. Like, for example, it's all free except for your WSO listing fee. Obviously, you got to pay for WSO $20. And most of the time, you're going to need an autoresponder. But the cool thing about it is GetResponse offers a free 30-day trial without even a credit card or anything. Just free 30-day trial. So you literally can do this for free aside from the WSO listing. Okay? How long will it take? Go ahead and give them an idea of how long this could take. Okay? I say they could start implementing this today and could have a product up and rolling in a few hours from now. You absolutely could. Aside from, if you're doing a WSO, aside from the approval process and getting your WSO approved. Now, most of the time, I can put up a WSO. If it's like in the morning, it'll be approved by that afternoon. But if you submit a WSO like at night Eastern Standard Time, it might be till the next morning before they approve it. But you can do everything aside from that in just a couple hours, as you can see that we're doing here. How much money can you make? Again, I tell them, you can grow this to infinity, because with just about any product, any make money online product, it really just depends on how hard the person works. Okay, it's entirely up to how hard that person works. They can grow it to infinity, just about anything, if you put your mind to it. Okay, provide support, sure. Tell them that you provide support, all that good stuff. Sounds too good to be true. And here's where I put in my guarantee. You might put it up here somewhere. It doesn't matter. I always put it right here at the bottom. This sounds too good to be true. And I say, that's okay. You won't be taking any risk here. And that's important to let them know that they're not taking any risk, because I'm putting the risk on me. Okay, if you pick up this report and you don't find value in it, just let me know and I'll buy it right back from you. I just like to say it like that. You could say, let me know and I'll send your money right back. I like to say it like that because they're wanting to make sales online, and it's just kind of a nice little buy it right back from you. Hey, you're going to get a sale from me, I guess. I don't know. You simply have nothing to lose, and that's where I ended. Okay, click here to get started. You don't have to worry. You can get a refund if you don't like it. Okay, so everybody follow me so far on this whole sales letter. It's actually pretty simple. Nothing fancy, very short. Okay, very short. And as you can see, it was the same with Solo Ad Arbitrage, which sold over 1,000 copies. Secret Traffic Tsunami sold a few hundred copies. Very same thing, very short. Look how short that sales page is. Okay, it doesn't have to be this masterfully long, crazy, thing. It just needs to be to the point, tell them exactly what they're going to get, and be real. Be real with them too, as well. Don't go and lie on your sales page. Okay, I know it's very tempting to do that. You don't want to lie on your sales page. Be honest about it. Okay, so any questions thus far? Before we go any further, we're going to start setting up the listings. We're going to send out an email. We're going to make this thing go live here in just a few. And I want to just stop and get any questions right now that we might have right now. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to get your questions in while I drink some coffee. No questions? All right. Then we shall continue. So the next thing you want to do, when you have this, when you have your sales copy all laid out just the way you want it in your test thread, what you'll do is you'll go here, you'll edit, and you will copy the whole thing. I'm just going to select all and copy. Okay, and what you'll do is I just stuck mine in a notepad file. I just pasted it right in this notepad file here. Okay, you can see it's all there, so you can have it for later. Now we're going to go through Warrior Plus, and we're going to set up our actual listing. So I'm going to close these, and I'm going to go into Warrior Plus. And we're going to actually set this up right now. Warrior Plus WSO Pro. Warrior Plus is free. You could use JVZoo if you want. If you're just starting out, I find it a lot easier to get affiliates on Warrior Plus. It just is. I can't tell you why exactly. It just is. I've always gotten more affiliates on Warrior Plus. You do have to make sure that you moderate your different affiliates to make sure that you're not going to get guys that are going to scam you. We'll talk a bit more about that in a minute. So I'm going to go into Products under the Vendors tab, and I'm going to select New Product. Okay, we're going to create a new product listing here. And we're not doing an OTO. If we were doing an OTO, we would be using offers. Okay, and we're not going to get into that. I do have some training on that. If you're interested, I can show you that later. But right now, we're not going to do an OTO. We're just going to set up a quick and easy product. So this is going to be a buy now single payment. You can also do subscription or free product, which is stupid. Don't ever do a free product. Buy now single payment. Product name, I'm going to call it Create Launch Live. Okay. Delivery file. Now, if you don't have your own web hosting, you don't want to use any web hosting, and you don't have an OTO, you can have Warrior Plus host the delivery file to you, which means when they go through your WSO, they purchase it. The next page they go to is actually a Warrior Plus page that has their download zip file right there. So I could take this recording, I could select choose file, and I could find it on my computer, and I could upload it and let Warrior Plus deliver that for me. But I'm not going to. I'm actually going to use a page that I create on my own hosting, and we're going to do that here in a second. I'm going to show you how easy that is. The maximum file size is 100 megabytes for Warrior Plus. If you got a long video course or something like that, you might not be the best. But I also use Amazon S3, which I'll show you also in a second. See, I could just stick an Amazon S3 link. I could host it on Amazon. Let me just show you. Amazon, all this stuff. S3. Go in here and sign in. And so let's say that we wanted to, here's my different folders. I'm going to click on exclusive bonus. Okay, I could upload right here, and I could drag and drop my file that I want to be the download file. I could upload it right there, and that's what I am going to do for this webinar recording once it's done recording. I'm going to show you how we're going to handle all this in just a moment, but I could upload it, and then you would make public. And you click make public, and then you can click, after you make it public, it's going to do this little number right here. And for those of you who have never used S3, it's very, very cheap to use S3. Very, very cheap. Pennies on it. Pennies. Okay. And then you would just say properties, and there's your link. There's your download link. So I could either copy that link address, and I could literally just paste it in, and there's the download file right there for me. It could be a zip file, it could be a video file, it could be anything, right? But you could, if you didn't want to do any kind of thank you page or anything like that, you could totally just grab this link and stick it over here and put it in the delivery URL, right? Or you can do like we're going to do and create a thank you page. I'm going to show you that in a minute. So right now, I am going to here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to stick something in there temporarily. And what should I name this? Create, launch, live. Now that page does not exist yet, okay? But it will soon. And I'm going to say thank you, TY, thank you. Okay? That's going to be the delivery URL, which we are going to create in a minute. Okay? And basically, this is where when somebody purchases the product on the WSO, they will be redirected to this page to download their purchase. Okay? Content type. Well, this is new. Select all that apply. Cool. That's new. Awesome. That's like today new. All right, video. That's what kind of content's in there. Sales notifications. This is if you want to get pinged by your email every time you get a sale. I leave it on because it's kind of fun watching all those emails come through. Of course, I get them from PayPal too, so it kind of, when you do a launch, you're getting hit with all these emails and all these PayPal emails, and it's just kind of fun. But it can be annoying if you're going to get thousands of sales. Yeah, you might want to turn that off. So refund period, I always do 30 days. You can do 60 days. You can do whatever. I do 30 days. It really doesn't matter. In the scheme of things, PayPal, a customer literally has 60 or 90 days to refund a product, a digital product. And as a seller, you don't have any seller's protection. So it really doesn't matter what you put in here. If you're using PayPal, within 90 days, they can do it. So, I just put 30 there for giggles. It doesn't matter. Select a product image. I never do this. You can. That'll show up in their marketplace here. I don't ever do that. You can if you want. 3 keywords. I'm going to do product creation. Creation. And what do you think here? List building. Sure, this is a list building tool for sure. That's the ultimate goal of this, right? And I'm going to do newbie friendly. That's a nice one. Not very specific. I don't know. I don't mess around too much with the keywords. I don't I don't really care so much about that. You know, if somebody finds it in the marketplace, it's okay. I'm more concerned with other types of traffic. Limit sales, you can limit the sales to how many there are that you can sell. I'm not going to limit the sales on this. Support email, I'm going to do this email right here. And if you have a support desk, you can put the URL to it here, which will show up instead of the email if you put one here. Okay, Warrior Forum WSO settings. This is going to be a standalone WSO. If we were to have an upsell or an OTO, I would leave this off, and I would use the offers and sales funnel system that they have, which is up here. They have videos that show you how to do all this stuff, but since I'm doing just a quick standalone WSO, we're going to click that on, and you would click here to create a new post, right? Because let me show you something. Ever since Warrior Forum got taken over by Freelancer bought Warrior Forum, and they've changed all this up. If you go in straight to the Warrior Forum and click on Warrior Special Offers and try to sell your product or service, it's going to take you to their new Warrior Payments system. I've never used it. It's still brand new. I much prefer Warrior Plus. So there is a backdoor link kind of to create the WSO the old way, and Warrior Plus conveniently stuck that little link in there so you can easily do it. And you can see this URL at the bottom. That's the old way to create a WSO. So I'm going to open that up, and this would be me creating a WSO thread, Warrior Special Offers, okay? And that's when I would copy my code and stuff from the test thread that I created, and I would paste it in here, right? And this would be my title, and paste the body in here, and then let me just paste, and I didn't do the title. I'm just going to say test, because I'm not actually going to do this because I've done it before. But let me show you something. When you do this, when you're putting it in the actual WSO, okay, preview the post first. Don't click Submit New Thread. You want to preview it to make sure that it looks the way you want it. Because if you don't, as soon as you hit Submit New Thread, it's going to lock the thread, and the moderators are going to go and approve it or disapprove it. And you can't touch the thread until they've approved it. And it has to be live before you can even edit it again. You'll see this in just a moment, but make sure that it looks just like you want it before you hit submit, because you will not be able to edit it again until you're live. I want you to understand that, okay? So normally I would click Submit New Thread, and it would tell me that my thread is now awaiting approval, okay? And once it's been approved, they will send you a private message. Okay, so I just navigated away from that page. Your thread is approved, the Warrior Forum Marketplace. Now, as soon as I want this thing to go live, I'll go here. It's a PayPal link. It'll take me to PayPal to pay $20 to the Warrior Forum. And as soon as I make that payment, it's automatically going to go live. I'm not going to do that yet. We're not completely done. So I'm going to go back to continue to set up our listing. But that's how you would create the new WSO post. So click on that, take your test thread code, and put it in the new WSO post. Okay, is everybody still on board with me? Are we all good to go? Am I breaking up? Everybody still hear me? Any questions? At this point in time, I just want to make sure that I'm not talking myself. Doesn't matter how many posts you have in order for it to be approved. I really don't think so. I don't think so. And you used to have to be a Warrior Forum member, a paid Warrior Forum member, to be able to post a WSO. But don't believe you have to do that anymore. I think all now you have to do, now that Freelancer is taking over, is pay the $20, and I don't think there's a minimum post limit. I don't, because I've seen people with very, very little posts, like 10 posts. Now, I will say that it will help you sell more copies if you have more posts on the Warrior Forum. Okay, I only have like 100 and something posts on mine, which isn't really that many. I mean, and that's just all from replying to WSO thread. But the more posts you have on the forum, it will show your post count, just like Alistair here. I mean, he owns the dang thing, and he's only got 600 posts, right? But, the more you have, the better of a reputation people will see. If you come in there with 0 posts, you got like 1 post, and that's your WSO thread, and it shows 1 here, people are going to be less likely to trust you until you get reviews on your WSO thread. Okay, does that make sense? So the more posts you have, it does make a little bit of difference. Some people look at that as, okay, this Bubba guy has been here, but if he joined like yesterday and he's got 0 or 1 post, they're going to kind of be like, I don't know. So maybe go out there and post around 10 different things, just answer a few different posts, add value, whatnot, and you'll be fine. So where were we? Okay, back to here. So I'm going to click on for standalone WSO, and WSO post. Now, this is an interesting thing about Warrior Plus. See, it's not going to show your WSO until it's live. And we're going to go through all this in just a second. You're going to see me go through this. We actually have to go live with the WSO, meaning I got to pay and it's got to go live before I can actually link this up and put my buy button on there. Okay? So, no, it's not yet created, pending. So that's what we're going to leave it on right there. And when it's live, then I'll go in here and switch it quickly to the new thread. Okay? I am going to say open, available for sale, or close unavailable, open. And I'm going to select my PayPal account here. You can also use Stripe. If you don't use PayPal, you don't want to use PayPal, you can use Stripe, which is a merchant account kind of thing. It lets people use credit cards instead of PayPal. Really nice features, especially if you want to do higher priced products. Okay. If you're doing something that's like $100, $200 or more, you would probably want to use Stripe. Stripe will be a little bit safer than PayPal. I don't know if safer is the word, but it's harder to refund on Stripe than it is for PayPal. Okay, so my regular price, and again, I'm just doing it to my PayPal there. Regular price, I am going to start this, and you guys, please don't hate me, $7. Thanks, Stephen. I appreciate you being here. You will definitely get the replay. Now, the reason that they're getting it for $7 is because they didn't get to be live on the call. Again, I know some of you paid $47 to be here, but you are part of this experience, and you're getting to ask any question that you want. You're part of this coaching, this training, and you're going to get extra stuff on your thank you page. You're going to get more than these guys. So if you're buying this now and you're watching this on the replay, just know the guys that actually attended are getting more than you. But $7. Sometimes I don't go below $9.95, but on the Warrior Forum, a really good price point for WSO is what I do is dime sell, and I'll start it at $7, and I will increase by 1 penny every sale, and I'll max it out at $9.95. Now, what this does, it creates a nice buzz. It creates that nice urgency there. Oh, the price is going up. I better get it before the price goes up. And the reason I do it one every sale is because I want it to always say on the buy button, for example, let's see. Well, I'm not going to look it up. It's always going to say, hey, only one left at this price, right? You know what I'm talking about. And I do it by 1 penny, so it kind of goes up slowly. If you do it more than a penny, let's say you do it 5 cents or 15 cents, if you get a lot of sales fast, that price is going to just skyrocket really quickly. Okay. The higher your price goes, the more sales are going to kind of slow down a little bit. And so I do $7 typically, and I go up to $9.95. Now sometimes I just do a flat $9.95. Sometimes I don't even do a dime sale, but this works really well, especially if you're a beginner. This is like your first WSO. Great price point to get started at. People will buy that all day long for $7. It's not much of a risk. It's it's only $7, right? $9.95. Once you start for video and ebook reports, once you start to get over $9.95, your conversions are going to go down a little bit. But at the same time, if it's a high value, like really high value, you can go higher. And I am a big fan of charging more and charging higher prices. But this is the formula that I found that works for WSOs. And I'm not even worried about making a profit off of this. I'm going to show you, as you can see in a minute, I'm going to give 100% away to affiliates. This is not my money. This is going to go to my affiliates. This is going to be their money. Okay? Me, I make my money off of the back end. So that's why I charge my higher prices, right? Same thing goes with you when you do your own thing. Thanks, Stephen, for joining us. You will get a copy of the replay. So $7 and sale price, you can put something like $9.95 here. So actually, I did it backwards. Okay, this should be $9.95. This should be $7. Okay, basically the regular price, you don't even have to put anything here. Okay, that is if you put $9.95, it'll probably show up and say, this is normally $9.95, but right now you can get it for $7. Okay, so I'll put that there. Sale price is $7. So this is actually your actual sales price. I always get those two backwards, but yeah. So it starts at $7. See, the selling price of this item, or the start price is a dime sale product. I increase by a penny per sale and max it out at $9.95. Once it gets $9.95, it's no longer going to do the dime sale. Now, email and webinar integration. So I already have my GetResponse connected to my Warrior Plus account, and you can do that right under here under your profile settings here on Warrior Plus. You can connect them very easily to the GetResponse API or Aweber or whatever. And I'm going to click Connect Service, GetResponse, and here are the different lists in my GetResponse account. Okay, but here's the really cool thing. I can just click to add a new list, bam, just like that. That was a, okay, so list name, I'm going to call this Create Launch Live. And create list. New list not created. Make sure you list 3 characters alphanumeric. Oh, okay, well, whatever. Create Launch Live. How about that? Is that better? Okay. And my customers won't see that. I will see that. So now I've already created my list in my autoresponder. Boom. It was that simple, and now I'm connected. Service has been connected. Close. So now every time somebody purchases my product, they immediately go onto that list in my autoresponder. How easy was that? That was so cool. Okay, you can do the same thing with webinar service if you want to. I don't have any webinar services set up because right now all they integrate with is GoToMeeting, and I don't use that. I use MeetingBirder, as you can see. So I'm not going to connect that up. All right. They have some advanced integration if you are doing a secure members area. For example, if you're using Optimized Member, S2 Member, Wish List, or something like that, you can integrate that way. Notification URL You don't have to worry about any of this unless you're doing a secure member area. Okay, affiliate program. You don't have to have an affiliate program, but obviously we want to because we want people selling it for us. Now, I'm going to do 100%. You don't have to do 100%, but I highly recommend it. And if you're doing a standalone WSO, especially at this price point, you're going to have to do 100% if you want to get any sales or affiliates on board. Okay. Now, if I had an OTO, I would do 100% on the front end, and I would do 50% on my OTO. So I would make a little bit of profit off of the OTO, and people off of my own list that buy without an affiliate link. Hopefully that makes sense. But you can go a little bit lower. Let's say your product is $9.95. I mean, you can do. I wouldn't go any lower than 75%. Okay, I would not go lower than that. I always do 100%. I want affiliates to just send me that traffic. What I want is people on my email list. That's what I want. Because once they're on my list, I can sell them whatever I want to, right? I don't care about the profits off of the initial launch here. This is just a list building machine for me. And that's the way you should look at these things. Now, I understand when you're first getting started, you want to make some profit. So go ahead and do an OTO, or maybe drop the commission a little bit. But I recommend you give as much as you can to your affiliates. The more you give your affiliates, the more they're going to push it for you, and the more they're going to sell it for you. Okay? The more sales you get, the more people you get on your email list. And once they're on your email list, you can immediately turn around and make more money off of them. And I'm going to show you that in just a moment as well. Okay? Affiliate info. If you have a JV page or something, I'm not even fooling with that this time. I'm just going to launch it out there. And the cool thing I like about Warrior Plus is I can put up a product without any affiliate promotion and get affiliates coming to me. I don't typically go after affiliates. I don't typically go and try to find that. Now, I can do that because I've been around. People kind of know me. And when you first get started, you might want to hit up, a couple good affiliates and try to get them on board. But at the same time, you want to focus on getting a high conversion rate. Changing up your sales page as you go along, see what converts, things like that. When your conversions are high, you're getting good value, getting good reviews on your thread, affiliates are just going to automatically come to you. Okay? They're going to automatically come to you. So affiliate info, I'm just going to say, less than 25 sales, Warrior Plus. Tell me what. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave this. I'm just going to leave it blank. 100%. Enjoy. No OTOs. Just whatever. Okay, affiliate program accelerator. Okay, hold on a second. I got a question popped up here. When they do you then create an affiliate list? You can set up a JV page and put your email list on it, or put an opt-in form. Let me show you an example here. Okay. Half a Brain Profit Machine. Here's a JV page that I did. And this is where affiliates could go and see more information about the product. Now, this is a bigger launch. It's a bigger deal. I don't always do these, but it's good, especially when you're first starting out. It's good to kind of have something like this. But see how it register as a VIP affiliate? They can come and get on my list if they want to. Okay? So that's an example of a JV page. Also, I thought somewhere that Warrior Plus had an affiliate list thingamajigger. And I think it's in the offers when you do offers. I don't know if it's in just standard WSO, but hopefully did that answer your question? Like they won't get put on a list just coming to promote your product unless you direct them to an opt-in form of some type, which you could put in here. I know James Runoff, he doesn't ever do a JV page, but he'll say something like, if you want to get on my JV list in this affiliate info box, if you want to get on my JV list, here's the link. And they can go, and he's got just a plain page with an opt-in form on it, and they opt in to get on his list so they can notify him. He can notify him in the future. You can do that if you want to. If you don't want to do a full-on JV page, you can do that. Also, Warrior Plus has this new affiliate program accelerator. I have not tested this out, so I cannot really say whether or not it works, but I think it probably would. Allow Warrior Plus to promote or feature your affiliate program to get more affiliates. Now, what they do is they take a 15% commission on sales made by the referrals. Basically, it's a second-tier program for them, meaning every affiliate that signs up to promote on your product, Warrior Plus is going to get 15% commission on that affiliate's sales. Okay, so an affiliate signs up and they make sales, Warrior Plus will get 15% of their sales. Now, not every affiliate, just the affiliates that come through their second tier link. So hopefully that makes sense. I have not tested this out, and my mind is left to wonder, okay, if I'm giving 100% away, where are they getting their 15% from? So I don't know. I'm going to talk to Mike Lance about this. This is pretty new. That's just come out, and I just haven't used it. I've never really needed it, but it would be interesting to try it out. I'm not going to do it today because, again, we're doing the 100%, and I don't want it to be like taking out money from my PayPal that I didn't want it to. So I don't know how that works. You could probably find out more on their website. Okay, so I'm going to leave that off, but you can leave that on if you want to. Also, deal of the day eligible. Everybody knows about the WSO of the day that Warrior Plus always does. Up here, like for example, here's the WSO of the day. WSO of the day is awesome to get. Okay, and typically every time that I've had WSO of the day several times. Typically, when I do, I see about 200 sales come in. I see on average about 200 sales every time that I get it. Now, there is a downfall to getting WSO of the day. Warrior Plus has a massive list, and so they drive a lot of clicks to your offers. And what happens is your conversion rate percentage will go down because they're driving so much traffic. You're still going to get a lot of sales, but it's going to get a low conversion rate because they might drive 1,000 people, or excuse me, well more than 1,000. I mean, 10, 20,000 clicks. Who knows? And you might get 200 sales, but that's a low conversion rate. So, for example, let's go in here and look at. I'm going to go to products. I'll just show you what I'm talking about. Under solo ad arbitrage, no, it would be offers. Okay, see, I got 20,000, over 20,000 visitors because I got WSO of the day. But look at that conversion, 7%. Now, before it got WSO of the day, that was like 15 to 20% conversion rate. And I can actually show you here, the front end is actually 5%, so it's even lower. That's the front end, that's the OTO. But I got a 62% OTO conversion rate. Let's see, because Warrior Plus drove all those freaking clicks, yeah, I got a bunch of sales from it, but it made my conversion go down. Affiliates like to see a higher conversion rate, okay? But if you get WSO of the day, most of them know that. Most of them know, hey, he got WSO of the day. They're probably going to mail for you anyway. So always leave this on. Always give them the same commission. I might actually no. I'm going to give him the same commission. Access info. I'm just going to copy that link again and put it right here. So if you have like a members area or something that people have to log into to access the product, you would want to basically create an account and give the login details like the username and password here. So Warrior Plus, they can go in and review the product. So they can qualify you for WSO of the day. And if you get it, it's really good. It's really good to get WSO of the day. So, all right, so we have our listing set up now. Despite me talking you all the way through this, if I hadn't talked all the way through it, I could have done this in like 3 minutes. Like nobody's business. Just like right down there. And you can see how fast it would be. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. All right. And we now have this listing almost ready to go. Okay. Also, again, if you're doing OTOs, you would create new offer funnel or add to an offer funnel that you've already created. Again, go to their videos to see how to do that. They keep changing it up, and I don't want to show you how to do that. And then they go and change it up. They've been updating it like on a very regular basis. So, okay, we have our listing up. We have the thread that we can pay for. Now we need to create that thank you page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my hosting. And before I do that, let me just stop and ask again, any questions? Does anybody have any questions? We all still on board here? Can everybody still hear me? Can everybody see my screen? Are we ready to move on to the next phase? We're going to get ready to launch this thing here real quick. So I'm kind of excited about it. And I'm going to tell you right up front, I'm not going to expect to see a bunch of sales right up front because I have done no pre-promotion for this. I've done no affiliate promotion. We don't have any affiliates on board, anything like that. What I am going to do is I am going to email my list. Now, if you don't have a list, that's okay. That's okay. You can still put it up there, and you can still go after affiliates and say, hey, would you promote this for me? But meanwhile, for this particular product that we're about to launch, I'm going to mail it to my list, and we're going to see if we get any sales in the first, hour or two or whatever, however long. But I don't expect to see a rush of sales like I have before on some of my other products, okay? I don't want you to think that we're going to start seeing several. I mean, we could, maybe. Maybe it's just really hot and we just get a bunch of sales. But basically, we're going to put it out there. I'm trying to show you the whole process, and we'll probably see a few sales come in. So any questions at this point so far? Everybody with me? Give me a yes if you're ready to continue moving forward. And I'm going to stop for just a moment and take a sip of my coffee. And I've actually will be back. Give me about 30 seconds or so, okay? I'll be right back. If you have any questions, be thinking of them, type them out. All right, I'm back. Okay. We do have a couple questions here. Let's see here. Got my microphone stuck. Sorry about that. Okay. We have a question. Will has a question. Good stuff. The only thing is, well, maybe not since most don't take action, is that if all of us create the same similar product, your thoughts? What do you mean the same similar product? I mean, are you talking about like copying my product? You can create a similar product. You can do your own webinar, and you can do your own video. You can do whatever you want, really. The thing is, Will, what you want to do is you want to teach somebody something that you know, whether it be internet marketing related, whether it be something else, okay? In your product, you're just teaching them something, whatever that may be, okay? It doesn't have to be what I'm doing here. It doesn't have to be what anybody else is doing. Certainly, you can go and do a webinar and record it and sell it as a WSO. Certainly, you could just make a quick video. See, I could have, instead of doing this live, I could have just shot a video of this whole thing and then sold it. But I thought it'd be cool to have people live on the call. So yeah, you can do similar stuff to what other people are doing. And matter of fact, it's good not to always go out and recreate the wheel, so to speak. You'll see that most of the products out there, there's nothing really new about them. They might just have this new little spin. And the thing is, when people buy from you, they're buying from you because it's your take on things, or the way you wrote the sales copy, okay, the spin that you're putting on it. For example, there's probably a zillion other products out there on how to create your own product, okay, how to create and launch your own product. But you guys have attended mine, hopefully because you like the way I do it. Or you're just crazy. I don't know. But either way, I have put out products that are similar to others, but they have my own twist. So, and then there are, of course, products that I've never seen anybody do that I've put out before. So it's going to be very rare that you put out something completely new. There's really not that much new stuff. It's just the way you do it. Okay? So, yeah, you can do something like this if you want to. Absolutely. Just don't. The big thing you don't want to do is copy other people. You don't want to copy anything, like word for word, or just you get the whole thing there. I'm trying to say, don't copy anybody. All right. So that answer your question there, Will? Hopefully. All right. I'm going to continue moving forward. So we need to create this thank you page, right? So I have a website, millionmarketer.com. You're seeing all my little pages here, and that's okay. WP admin. There we go. And I have this really cool plugin called WP Profit Builder. Has anybody ever heard of that? WordPress WP Profit Builder just came out. Sean, what was that guy? Sean, I can't remember his name now, but Sean something just put it out, WP Profit Builder. This is a really, really cool plugin. Okay, so I'm going to go over here to Profit Builder, and I'm going to select a template. Donahoe, yeah, John Donahoe. Templates Manager. I'm going to make sure that I have the certain template that I want. So we're doing a thank you page. I think they have a pre-done thank you page style deal. Miscellaneous page. Here's the download page. Okay, this works. Already installed. Okay, so I could just click install, and it will automatically install it for me. And then when I go to pages, I'm going to create a new page. Add new. And this is so easy. Now, there are other plugins out there. There's Optimize Press. There's, however you want to create the page. But if you're not really good with web stuff, you're not very technically inclined, WP Profit Builder is awesome. Okay, so I'm going to say create launch live. Okay, and I'm going to edit this and say TY in the link. Because remember, over here, that's what we called it, TY. Okay, so make sure that that matches that. Create launch live dash TY. Okay, so this is going to be my thank you page. Thanks. I'm just going to put that in there. Hopefully it doesn't change that. Okay, I'm going to click Profit Builder. And I'm also going to go down here, remove the stuff. And all that does is my current theme, it basically hides the main theme of my WordPress site. So I can create just a clean, straight up page. And it takes the menu off and all the other stuff that your normal theme would show. It removes all that. So right there. And I go to WP Profit Builder and I click Edit Page. Actually, I'm going to publish this first. Okay, publish first. So it's up. And I'll click Edit Page. And it takes you to this nice, beautiful editor here that I will show you. Really, really cool stuff. Okay, and I am going to load page. See where it says load page here, and load template. And here's all the templates that I was just showing you a second ago that I have installed. And let's see, download page is the one I want. So boom, load. Check this out. Bam! There it is. Look at that. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Okay, so we're just going to edit this. Thank you for joining us. Your download is now ready below. I'm going to edit this guy right here and basically say WP. Create launch live. What should I say there? Download below. How about that? Below. Okay. Save content. Now, if you're catching on here, you've probably realized by now we don't actually have the product because we're on it right now, right? So you're probably thinking, okay, how am I going to deliver this to them if we're live on the call right now? Well, what I did was earlier, I created a short little 5-minute YouTube video. Just 5 minutes. It took 5 minutes. So I'm going to grab that, and it's basically going to tell them, copy that there. It's basically going to tell them, you know, what the deal is, that they're on, that the replay is coming very soon, and it gives them a little bit of extra overview kind of thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a video. Let's see. I think it's under. No. I want that. Let's see the page. Because of the size of my window, it's messing me up on there. I think it's there. Oh. There. Oh. One of these shortcode groups has a video in it. Okay. Already did that. Come on now. Where's the video? Bullet list button, image. There's a dead-gum video thing here somewhere. Here I am blabbing my mouth about how easy it is. Oh, there it is. Okay. I am going to put that video right here. And again, I grab my video link, copy, paste that right there. Okay. That should update here in just a moment. Size, autoplay. I'm not going to do autoplay. Don't you hate that? When videos autoplay. Okay, so, all right, so I'm going to have the video right there. Wait, what size was that? Okay, all right, so that's going to go ahead and put that there, and it's going to basically tell them, hey, here's the deal. We're recording right now, and we'll have a replay up soon. And so here is going to be my download button. And URL, I am going to upload the recording of this whole thing in a zip file, and I'm going to upload it to S3 like I was showing you before. So obviously can't do that right now because we don't have the recording yet. And I'm going to call this Create Launch Live. Okay. That version thing. And so it's just really simple, okay? And I'm just going to put coming soon. Oops. And hopefully people watch the video and don't get pissed off that they come to the download page and it's not there yet. I think I did the video okay to where they would kind of understand that. So, oh, let me just check, make sure that, okay, there's no link, so it's going to just basically take them back to the same page. And I'm going to say we are live on the call right now. Replay will be up in less than, let's say, 3 hours, 2 hours. And you, crap, my spelling, immediately. Have you ever tried to type while on, like, a video or somebody watching you? You will be immediately emailed as soon as it's up. Watch the video above for more details. Okay, so that's that. Okay. And, you know, I could add some more stuff here if I want to. Like if I wanted to put like, oh, by the way, I also recommend this product and this product and this product and this product, or hey, sign up for my upcoming free webinar. I could put it here too. But for right now, we don't need any of that. So I'm just going to kill these rows here. Another one. You see how easy it is to use this? I love this plugin, WP Profit Builder. I've built several pages with it, and I love it. Put in copyright here. Okay. And actually, thank you out too. Goodbye. All right, and so that's our thank you page. Okay, so I'm just going to hit save page, and I'm going to preview the page. And there it is. Yeah. No, that's not my video. No. Not my video. Okay. My video. This one's copy. I guess it didn't change it when I paste. Okay, now it should be. Okay, there we go. There we go. There it is. Okay. Fresh. So now, got the video. Okay, so basically I outline the product and say, hey, it's coming. We're just on it right now. So, okay, now we got our thank you pages up, and I'm going to copy that, recopy that, go back to our listing just to make sure we have the exact right link, and I'm going to paste that in as a delivery URL. Okay, so everybody on board, we're getting ready to launch this thing here very shortly. I'm going to save it one more time. Okay, we have our thank you page, all that good stuff. I'm going to leave that window up. Actually, I'm not. All right. Okay. I don't have too many windows up. Okay, so I'm also going to close this. All right, so now this is what I call the Warrior Forum triple tabby. And the reason I call this is because I like to have several tabs open. First of all, I like to be in the Warrior Special Offers forum, so when my thread goes live, I can go immediately to it and edit it and add my buy buttons and stuff. Let's see, and I've got this one. Oh, there's one other thing that I wanted to grab, and that is solo ad arbitrage. I'm going to just grab something real quick off of that thread here at the bottom. Always do these FAQ. Okay, this how do I access my purchase? And I'm just going to hit edit, copy that, bam, cancel. Okay, and that way I can post it on my next direct. You always want to, as soon as your thing goes live, I'll show you in a second, you want to reserve that first post for yourself. And so I'm going to do that there, and I'm going to take that code, stick it right here, bam. Okay, so we're getting ready to go live here in just in a minute. So I've got this one open, I've got this one open. Okay, so any questions so far? Oh, I'm going to set up get response email, my thank you email. That's what I was going to do. Okay, let's get into that. Any questions while I'm getting this ready? While I'm getting my get response count. Is this stuff cool? I mean, are you guys learning anything? Am I just like yapping my jaws and it's not providing any value? I want to make sure that I'm providing you guys with some value. All right, now I can go over here and I can see create launch live. I'm going to switch over to that list. And number one, I'm also going to hit this little gear right here and make sure that my permissions confirmed opt-in is off. That way it doesn't have to send them a confirm email. It's just put them straight on my list, and it doesn't have to send an email out saying, hey, do you sure you want to subscribe? You know, and all that bull crap, and you lose half of your customers that way, your subscribers. So turn those enabled confirmations off. Aweber, I think, is different. I usually don't have a problem when I'm going through the GetResponse API in Warrior Plus like I showed you, but I always do that just to make sure, just to be on the safe side. Normally it just works, but you never know. Okay, so now I'm in this, and what I want to do is I want to create an autoresponder. So everybody that buys my product, as soon as they hit my list, they get an email sent to them, a welcome email. So I'm going to click on make sure I'm on that list that I want to be editing. So yeah, create launch live. Okay, remember we switched to that. And I'm going to go to create autoresponder. And I'm going to do subscribed, meaning as soon as they subscribe, as soon as they're on my list, I want to send them an email immediately. Any day of the week, it doesn't matter. And I want to create a new email. Okay. And I'm going to give it create launch live welcome. Okay. Welcome to create launch live. I don't know, that might be a dorky name. And I am going to put that email up. Track my click-through. Yeah, I want to track the stats and all that. Okay, next step. Oh, and just a cool little thing. I want to show you this too. It's pretty cool. I don't know if you ever noticed this, but you can add little symbols to like the beginning of your subject line. That's really cool. I always like to do like a really cool one is this one. It's kind of attention grabbing. So that actually shows up in their inbox. So that's how you do that, by the way. And if you want to put their name on it, you could do name, first name, last name, whatever. So I don't ever mess with that stuff. So next step, and there's all these pre-designed templates. I have my own template. Okay, I'm going to click my templates. Go all the way down here. Create launch live. I'm just going to use that one. This is from an email I already did. And this is my own template. I'm just going to edit this to what I want it to be. Okay. So I like to have a little header image so people know who's emailing them. Okay, so every time they open my email, they can see my face, who I am, where I'm from, that kind of thing. It's really cool. So I can leave. Whoops. Thanks and welcome. Okay, so I'm going to tell them truly appreciate picking this up. Can access your purchase here. Right. Now, I always do it in the email as well. That way, if they can't figure it out on Warrior Plus, even though I tell them, they will be able to find it, okay? Purchase by clicking here. You always want to tell them what to do, what exactly to do. And I'm just going to highlight that, make it a link, bam, there we go. Okay, I'm just going to delete some of this stuff here. Okay, and I'm also going to say bonus training. How about that? Bonus training. I like to reward customers with extra value. Okay? And what I'm doing here, and I'll show you in a minute. Let me just type this out first. I like to reward my customers with extra value. And that's free access to my no, let's see. It takes me forever to write an email sometimes, especially when people are watching. That's why I'm giving you free access to my super hot training. What is this? What is the name of that? I gotta go find it now. What I'm doing is I'm pointing them to one of my webinars. Okay, one of my coaching webinars. So, what was that? Three core foundations. Okay, this is a webinar replay of one of my webinars that leads into teaching or leads into my coaching program. Okay, and so when they watch this at the end, they can select to get a free consultation and get into my coaching. So when I do a welcome email, I always put that in there. Free. So that now that I remember what it is, okay. That's why I'm giving you. I don't know what it is. Let's see. That's one giving you free interest training. I don't like that. So I'd like to reward my customers with extra value. I'd like to show you 3 core foundations of a highly successful online business. Click here to discover those 3 core foundations now. Okay? Something simple. It doesn't have to be spectacular, guys. Okay? And all I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to link to it. Bam, just like that. Now I have the subscribers directly going off of my WSO, hitting my list. The first email they get, I'm giving them bonus training, okay, to my hour-long training video here, which leads into my coaching, okay? And that's where I've gotten a lot of my coaching students, just from this right here, okay? And that's the first email they get. Now, in your situation, maybe you don't have a coaching program. Maybe you don't have really a back-end product set up yet. You can do anything. You can put anything here. The thing is, you want to monetize them even more somehow, some way. And I always like to put bonus, because everybody likes free bonus. As a matter of fact, free bonus training, okay? And I'm just going to kind of extra value. Just kind of highlight that there. And I'm also going to say, this is a really short email, but P.S. If you have any questions, just hit reply and I'll be happy to answer them. Something like that. I'm just kind of doing this on reply, guys. So, okay. It's all it's got to be. It's that simple. I want them to go to those pages. Okay, I don't want them to be reading this long email. I want them to go straight there. Okay, and I could actually add this to the bottom of the thank you page. I could say, hey, here's some more free bonus training. And I may do that here in a little bit. I may just add that with the WP Profit Builder. So that's that. Okay, I've got that set up. I always tell them, hey, I might make some money. You buy it through my email. Now, if you want to create a template like I have, if you create an email and you like the way it looks and everything, you can save as template, and it'll show up under your My Templates thing. You can also save it as a draft if you don't want to publish it right away or send it out right away. So I'm going to click Next Step. And all right, so now my first welcome email is set up, and I am going to save and publish. Okay. And so that's the first email they'll get. Now, I can go in here and every day or every 3 days I can preset an email to drip out. And that's probably what I'll do. I'll have probably every 3 days I'll have a new email sent to them on autopilot. And I'll sit down for like a couple hours and just write, several emails out and just pre-schedule them. And then you're making money on autopilot, okay? You don't have to do anything. You set it up once and you're good to go. So that's how you do all that. Now that we're good with that, we can go live. Okay? Now we can get started and actually put this thing out to the public. And before I do that, before we go any further, just check to make sure everything's looking good here. Okay, okay. I think we have all our ducks in a row. Maybe I'm missing something, maybe I'm not, because I'm just kind of going off the cuff here. But I think we're okay. So before I do this, before we go live, are there any questions? I know this webinar is long, but this isn't like a pitch webinar. This is just a straight up content. You guys paid to be here. I'm not going to be pitching you anything on this call. So it's going to be long. It's actual training. You get to experience this whole thing. Will says, out of curiosity, would you also send solo clicks to the page? That's a really good question, and I personally would not. And the reason I would not is because solo ads typically don't convert on a sales page. When you send them straight to a sales page, a lot of the time you're not going to see conversions. And what's going to happen is you're going to get traffic to that page. They're going to see the page, they're going to get to the page, but they're not going to buy, and it's going to drive your conversions down. And your affiliates are going to see those lower conversions, and they're not going to like that. Okay. Now, after you have it launched, and let's say a couple weeks down the road after it's slowed down, okay, then you can test out some solo ad traffic if you want, and you can work. Now, there are guys that's what they do. They use solo ad traffic. They've got their specific methods. I don't do that. I don't want to really pay for traffic. Okay, you can get all the free traffic you want through affiliates. All the traffic you want. They will send you hordes of visitors without you having to pay a dime up front, right? So that's the best kind of traffic. Plus, they're selling it. They're not just popping in a solo ad and sending it out to they're actually trying to sell this thing for you. Solo ad vendors, they really don't care whether you get opt-ins or conversions or whatnot. They all they care is that they get you the amount of clicks that you paid for. That's all they care about. Where opposed to an affiliate, they want to make those sales because they're getting commission. So it's their job. The better they do at selling your product for you, the more money they make. So massive difference, and that's why I would focus mostly on solo ads. Now, Facebook ads work well if you can target well. I know a lot of people that do Facebook ads to WSOs, but you have to test small at first. You want to test small and make sure you're getting converted. If you're not getting conversions, stop the ad because you don't want to drive those down. And I would wait a couple days before you start driving paid traffic if you're using affiliate traffic. Now, if you're not using affiliate traffic, if you're not going after affiliates, sure, do solo ads, or sure, do Facebook ads or whatever, but it's not going to be as strong as affiliates. I'm not sure. Let's see. Will says, I'm not sure if you already cover this, but how do you attract affiliates for your product? That's another good question. Number one, there's really several ways to go about it. You can go into JV calendars and JV groups. So, for example, there's one called Muncheye, the JV calendar. Muncheye.com is a JV calendar, and this is where people post their launch, and affiliates, thousands of affiliates, they come to this page and they see all the products that are about to be launched, and they'll go and look through and see which one they want to promote, and they'll go sign up to promote it. Okay, and there's a couple of these. There's Muncheye.com. There is WarriorJV.com. Okay, those are the two biggest ones in our space, and you can list your product on there. Now, when you list on here, you need to have a JV page. Like, for example, this guy has a JV page. You can go to his page, and you can see more about his product, okay? And that is one way to get affiliates. And you can go around and kind of promote this to affiliates. And you can do it on Muncheye. You can also go to Facebook. There are Facebook groups. For example, WarriorJV.com. JV. I'm glad you asked that question because I wasn't even going to cover it until you said that. I didn't even really. I was thinking about launching the product. Okay, see, they have FB group. If you go to WarriorJV.com and click on the FB group, you do have to be a member, and they will ask you to fill out this little form and whatnot. But they will add you to the group. Okay, they will add you to the group. That is the best group you can get in on Facebook for this space, for the WSO space, and that sort of thing. That's the best group to get in, or one of the best, owned by Kinster. And get in that group and start mingling with the affiliates. That's what you really want to do. You want to get in there and mingle with the affiliates and build those relationships with people. Don't go in there and say, "Hey, I got a new product, promote my new product." That should not be the first words out of your mouth. Okay, you want to go up to people and you want to talk to them like a friend and generally get to know them, okay, and become a part of the community. This isn't, what we're talking about here is not just a one-off launch thing. We're talking about building your business as a whole, getting to know these affiliates in your community. That's how you get bigger and bigger and bigger. Creating those relationships with affiliates, um, that's how you grow very, very rapidly. Um, on your first launch, you might find it a little harder to get affiliates. I'll just be straight up honest with you. You might get a couple, you might get a few. You might find it harder though, especially if nobody knows you. It might just be a little more difficult. Don't let that stop you though, okay? Your first launch might fall flat on its face. Look here, I got some that didn't sell, didn't sell hardly anything, and I've been doing this for a long time. I've got some massive launches, but I got leaderboard dominate and 22 sales. I mean, come on. Some they just fall flat on your face. Here's some, that do several hundred sales, several thousand sales. But uh, the key is the guys who keep doing it, who keep launching products, who keep going at it. Those are the people who succeed. So whether or not your first launch pans out or falls flat on its face, do another one right after that. Okay, and build those relationships with those affiliates. But yeah, Warrior JV, get in that Facebook group. That's a great place to start. Great place to start. And if you go in there and ask around about, hey, how do I get affiliates? You'll get so much advice. It's not even silly. So I don't even want to waste any of more of your time talking about that because they'll, that's what you. That's basically the key to it. Go in the go in the Facebook groups and start mingling around. That's how you get good with affiliates. Now, I did mention earlier that a good offer will just automatically bring affiliates. Now, Warrior Plus, for me, it's notorious that every time I launch a product, I just automatically get affiliates come to me, and it's not because that I'm known or anything like that. It's just because it happens for a lot of people. Affiliates are just, I guess they're hungrier. I don't know. But if you're getting good conversions on your product, you're going to start seeing affiliate requests come in without you doing a thing, without you promoting it at all. Okay, so that is if you focus on having good sales copy, which if you want some pointers, Dan Kennedy is excellent copywriter. Get his book, The Ultimate Sales Letter by Dan Kennedy. Very good on copywriting. You don't have to be an expert. You just need to kind of get the basics down. And if you kind of study other people's pages, study what I did a little bit, the main thing with the WSO, again, easy to do, no experience required, really cheap to do, and it's fast, you're going to get some sales. And especially if you put some proof on there, and the more reviews you get on your thread, the more people that come back and put a testimonial, say, yeah, man, this product is awesome. The more of those that you do, your sales, like each one, will just start bumping up your sales. So ask people for those reviews, and you can even do that on your thank you page and in the product itself. You could say, hey, if you enjoyed this, please go back to the thread, even put a link there for them to make it easy for them, and say, please go back and add a review. Those reviews on the Warrior Forum can really make a difference in your sales, a huge difference. You saw with Solo Ad Arbitrage, I had all those reviews at the top, and I sold over 800 copies. So it's just a front end product. So there you go on that, on getting affiliates. So now we need to go ahead and get this thing going. We need to go ahead and go live because it's been 2 hours now. All right, so let's see here. We're going to go ahead and pay for the thread. Go here. Am I missing anything? Does anybody see me missing anything? If you know. Okay, so create and launch a release on less than 3 hours. No restraints. Super easy. Get started. So I say less than 3 hours. It's been 2 hours now. So all right. So I'm going to pay with PayPal, and what's going to happen is that thread's going to go live as soon as I do. So $20. There it goes. Gosh, I got so many. There we go. I'm going to log in. And I'm going to pay now. And that's it. And we'll be live in just a moment. It's going to automatically, let's see, go back to that. Oh, nice. They already put me on it, so I didn't have to do the 3 times. Okay, so now, here's my live WSO. The first thing I'm going to do, I guess, is put the buy button on there. But this is the actual, that was that, this guy, quick reply. Because I want that first post to be mine, so I can put anything I want there. Quick reply, bam. Okay? That's my first post. Okay, and now I need to edit, and I need to go to Warrior Plus, and I need to get my buy button. Embed code. All right, so here's my buttons, and I am on the forum, and I am going, actually, I want to refresh the page. So what do I do? I'll see if that will link it up for me now. Down here. There it is. Boom. See there? Now it's linked up. Now I can click save. And now I need to get my buy button. Actions. Embed code. Here's my buy button. And I want the forum code, the BB code, not the HTML, the BB code. If I was doing it on a standard page, I'd get the HTML. Okay, BB code. Go. I'm going to copy that. Close that. I'm going to come back over here. And right where I've put in buy button, I've edited. Get a little closer to my screen here. Let's see. There we go. With that one, I've got it centered on my other one. This is so much easier with the visual editor. Yeah, buy button. I think I've got 4 buy buttons in here, and all the way down to the bottom. I know there's one there too. Buy. Save. Now my buy buttons are there. Remember I was telling you earlier about the down sale? Only 1 copy left at this price. Okay, so now we are live. Oh, messed up that. Okay, edit that. See, that's the problem with the code view. You get little things that you kind of miss sometimes. Where did it go? Center. Oh, I see what I did. There we go. Okay, it should be right now. Save. Okay. Go. Now we're live. Okay. Sweet. So now people can go through here and buy. Now the first thing you should do when you go live with a product is buy it. You want to test everything out. And if you don't have 2 PayPal accounts, get a friend to buy it or somebody. You can also test purchase within Warrior Plus. You can do it that way. I like to just go straight to the deal. I have 2 PayPal accounts, so I like to do it that way. I want to make sure everything is working. All right, pay. All right, so now I'm going through my funnel, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'll be redirected. I should get an email, and this should also redirect me to Warrior Plus. Okay, and access your purchase. And it should take me straight to the thank you page. Thank you for joining us. There it is. Bam. Done. So that's working, and now we can see our buy button is probably updated to 701. All right. Any questions? We are now live, and I am going to email my own list. Now, you may not have a list, and that's okay, but I do. So now I can mail my list. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, oops, first of all, select the right list. Actually, we're going to reuse one of my old newsletters. My newsletters. And I'm just going to say reuse. Sometimes it's easier to do it this way. Just went live. No, I don't want to say that. Let's see. What do I want to say? Replay. Here we go. This morning's training, right? Okay. So I'm going to go next. And we held a live webinar session misspell it, where we created, typos. Sorry about this, guys. If you have questions, go ahead and start typing them in. I'll answer them as we go. Today we held a live webinar session where we created a product and launched it live on the call. Click here to get access to replay. Right? Something like that. And all I'm going to do is, and I'll show you this. When you're doing links, you can do a tracking link here, like this, and set up different tracking. So I can go and click live. It's going to add that to the thing. And I'll show you what it does. All it does is you can do this with any Warrior Plus affiliate link or your own link. And all you got to do is put slash something, whatever, here. But you can also do it live. You can let them do it. I'm going to copy that, and that just creates an extra tracking link so you know where that link is coming from. So I'm going to just pop that in there. Okay. Boom. Click here and check it out. Okay, so my email copywriting skills today are not that fantastic, but that's okay. And also what I'll do in these links is I'll actually even drop my own like A and B, so I'll know that that's the A link and that's the B link. And that way I'll know which link inside of that email got the most clicks and which one got the most conversions. And it's interesting to note that usually your top link will get more clicks, but your bottom link will get a higher conversion rate, meaning more of those clicks will get sales, whereas you'll get more clicks here versus sales and less sales. So interesting to note. So I'm just going to pop that out to my list real quick and see if we get some sales. I'm going to click next. It's got one. Oh, that's me. And we're going to click next step. Okay. And I'm going to send it right now. Bam. Right? Okay, so it is being sent. And maybe we'll see some sales come through in a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to close this. I'm going to go back to products. And I can see now that I have one sale, which is the one that I purchased. The version is 11%. And now affiliates, let's say you're an affiliate. And you go over here. And you're an affiliate looking for a product to promote. And you're just, I can close these. You're in here and on offers. And you're just dorking around trying to find a product to promote. You can see that mine is right here. And they'll be able to see my stats. Visitor conversion, 13%, which I've only had one sale. $7. And they can literally just click on there and request to be approved to promote my product. Okay? So it's that simple. And if you want to give potential affiliates your link, to do that, you click on here, go into your listing, and affiliate sign up page. And this is the link that you would give them. Okay? Makes sense? So everybody on board? Everybody understand what's going on? Are we all good? What kind of questions do you have? I'm going to pause it. I'm going to mute myself for just a moment, and I will be back in 20 seconds. If you will just go ahead and start with your questions, and we're going to be wrapping it up here in a moment. Hopefully we'll see a couple sales come through just so you can see that happen. I got to say, guys, this is like the longest webinar I've ever done. Got the email, by the way. Good. Cool. Yeah. See, I can go in here in my email and see 6% have opened, 2%, 2 clicks, 6 or 5 opened so far. I mean, I just sent it out, right? So we might see some stuff come through here in just a moment. And whoops, hold on a second, my phone. I'm sorry. I guess I forgot to mute it. All right, so questions. Go back to another thing when you're launching a WSO, you want to make sure that you do this here. Thread tools, subscribe to this thread, and instant email notification. That way, if you're not sitting on the thread and you get somebody reply to your thread, it will instantly send you an email, okay? Because you want to reply to questions as they come along as fast as you possibly can. So if somebody puts a question down here, you're going to reply to it. And that's it. We have launched a product. Okay? It was very simple. You know, it would have went a lot faster if I wasn't like explaining this, all of it to you, so you can see how fast if you just go through it. Within an hour, 2-3 hours, you can have a product up ready to go. And think about this: if you could do one every other day or every week, something like that, how many products you would have before long? You're going to be, building a nice size list and making some good money. That's what I did when I first got started. I just did WSO, these little small WSOs, one right after the other, and it was a snowball effect. Like every one did a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. Built up my list a little bit more, and see, that email list helps you a lot, because when you mail your list that you have a new product, those sales can help you a lot. It gets those conversions up for you. You'll make the profit off of that, but also those affiliates start to notice you more because you got those sales right away, and it just creates a chain reaction. So it's definitely a snowball effect, and you start doing, you might do one or two, and they might just not make anything. You might get 3 sales. I think my first one ever did 20-something sales, if that, but it made me $300. I was happy. I was super happy because I had never made any money online. I was like, man, $300 just like that for writing a 17-page ebook, And now, you can make thousands and thousands and thousands. But yeah, so that's the whole process. So no questions. And anybody have any questions? I'm surprised that I'm not getting pinged. It's a pretty straightforward process, and I'm just going to keep kind of watching this thread here, and going forward. So I'm going to pause it real quick. My phone is blowing up, so I'm hoping that nothing is wrong. I'm going to pause it real quickly. Sorry about that. Normally I would never take a phone call when I'm on a webinar, but when somebody continuously and repeatedly calls you over and over and they know that you're on a webinar, you want to make sure it's not something urgent. So I got to wrap this up here in just a moment, guys. I encourage you, if you have questions, please ask them now while we're still on the call. I'm going to continue to update you on the stats of this and let you know how this goes. That way you can kind of stay posted. You'll see the sales come in. I'll probably do a little extra promotion, but that's really it. That's all you have to do to create your own product, have it up, have it live, and be making money. Okay? Still no sales yet. I don't expect a big rush on this one because, again, I didn't do any pre-promotion. But that's okay. It will come. Sometimes it works in the opposite effect. Sometimes you'll pre-promote and you'll have a lot of sales up front and it starts to slow down. And sometimes you'll put one out there like this and it will just gradually grow. And in fact, I had one that I put out and it was like 2 or 3 weeks later after I went live with it. Then I got WSO of the Day, and then it just took off. But it took it like 2 weeks for it to get to that point. So I'm going to have to end the webinar now. I've got company knocking on my door. So if you have any more questions, hold on just a moment. It went longer than I expected. So everybody, I appreciate you coming out to the webinar. There will be a replay. I'm going to send it out to you guys, and you'll get it in your inbox. If you have any questions, you can email me. Again, you know my email, every one of you. I know you do. So any more questions before I turn this thing off? I'm going to give it about another 30 seconds. None? All right. Christian says, thanks, it was pretty straightforward. Well, so thank you guys. I'm glad it was straightforward. It almost makes me feel good that there's no questions, because I guess I covered everything. We did go step by step. I don't think I've been this in depth on anything before. You just go right through the training. Let's check our email stats here. What we're looking at here. We got 20 opens and 3 clicks. So yeah, that sales will come in. It's just going to take a little while. Whoops. Okay, so that wraps it up, guys. I appreciate you coming out, and I'm going to get this thing processing and recording. And again, if you need any help, let me know, and we will see you on the inside. I'm going to